Hello, it's me, Jess. Welcome to my channel, and today we are doing a lovely reading on what is next for you in your life. And I kind of want to infuse this with a soul focus. What is your soul learning through the current events that are going on in your life? And I did just want to say this because I found this fascinating. If you have been around my channel for a minute, you probably have heard me say that I like to shuffle these cards for whatever the selection is. And I love to look at the card that's on the bottom of the deck. And in this case, it is magic. And because when I'm filming this, we are getting ready to go into holiday season, I just wanted to share something like how I feel about magic, because these are very lovely cards, right? All of them: nurture, enjoy, and connection. But so many people, when it comes to magic, they ask themselves like, oh, well, is magic real or isn't magic real? And, all of that. And for me, I think that's just the wrong question, because for me, magic is like a joyous responsibility. I feel like we have a responsibility to ourselves and our families and our friends and our communities to infuse life with a little bit of magic. And I think one of the most potent ways that we do that is by embracing rituals and connecting with nature and the change of seasons and really grounding ourselves in time and space, being present like in that moment. And holiday season is so good for that, because so many of us do have rituals that we go through with the people that we love, whether that is just decorating for the seasons, slowing down a little bit in the winter time, eating, seasonal foods like the root vegetables and things that really come up this time of year, and just decorating with, for the fall, holidays, and also just for the winter holidays. And that to me it's connecting ourselves to nature, to the world, as things kind of move and shift around us. But it also just builds a sense of connection within everybody that's around, I tend to find. So I think a big message that's coming out overall is just through taking the time to infuse yourself and your home and your surroundings with a little bit of that magic, connecting with whatever rituals you have here for yourself that you can possibly experience, bring out, nurture, enjoy, and connect a little bit more. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. But I've got 3 piles here: pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. I will put the picture up so you can choose from that, and I'll see you at your reading. Okay. Pile number 1, what is ahead for you guys? Okay, so the energies here in this pile could be a little bit difficult here to deal with, but it's definitely serving this higher purpose and within you. And I can tell you right off the bat, I am very impressed with your energy. As it's coming out here, you seem very measured, very wise, very aware. And that to me is the energy that's driving how this scenario works out. Because I think you might get some bumps and bruises. You might hit some waves here in the next month or so. But you yourself, because you are so astute and alert and aware, and you also are a person who believes in your own individual effort, that in order to get things done, and I think you have high standards here for yourself, I think that's really driving the ship here, which is really, really good to look at. So let me just walk you through the energy that I'm seeing, because I think in the past with the Ace of Rods, you guys could have had some kind of new opportunity, maybe at work or something. You're feeling very inspired. I think another way that this energy could be coming through is you could have had some sort of sudden realization here about a person, about an environment. But there can be very familial energy that's coming through. You could experience this when you go home for the holidays, or maybe this could be in regards to a boss or a work situation. But I feel like you are very astute, very observant person, and you could have had some kind of sudden realization. But I get the sense that in the past, you were experiencing like a lot of growth, a lot of inspiration, some kind of potential. There was a lot of kinetic energy around you. And maybe you were even very much shining with this sun energy. You felt creative. You were putting yourself out there here in some way. But what I see ahead is you are actually modifying your behavior and the way that you are shining or not shining. But this is coming off as like a very wise, intelligent, and strategic move here on your part. It's almost like it would be stupid to just put it all out there here in front of this other personality that you seem to be confronted with. So different ways this could come about is, say like you were working on a project, things were going great, you were spearheading it, a lot of people were drawn into your energy, and all of a sudden you got a change in boss. And this new boss is a real tyrant, you know, and doesn't like to see other people shine. And so you're really withdrawn and you've pulled your energy back and you're very much biding your time here. Another way that this could come about is maybe you have been doing very well at work, but then for 2 months in December, you're going home for the holidays or 2 months in December. That's our band. No, I'm kidding. 2 weeks in December, you go home for the holidays, and so you're in a change of environment, and maybe you're around like a very stubborn, competitive type of a person, and you have to change and modify your behavior, but maybe it's like something that you're not used to being around. It's kind of reminding me of that movie, I think it's called The Holiday, with Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon, where especially like Vince Vaughn's family, where they're all like wrestling and stuff, and he was the kind of the runt growing up, but then he's this high-powered attorney in New York, so hasn't had to deal with that kind of like crazy energy for a while, and then all of a sudden he has to, so now he's got to shift his personality in the way that he is coming across in order to navigate like that space. Regardless, there's a situation that is playing out where I think you have done some kind of planning in regards to this, and I would highly suggest this as well, but because Sun Pluto can be an energy where they can be like planners. They pay attention to all the details, and they can really put their focus on like planning the event. Or if you get everything in place, like externally, everything is going to go just fine, but then something happens and it shoots them right back into their core, right back into their depth, right back into themselves. That's like literally what this is saying to me. I think some of you guys, you might have been, you're like, okay, almost perfectionism as a means of avoiding chaos and some kind of sudden disruption. So you're like, okay, well, it's my turn to cook the turkey this year, and I'm gonna make sure all my ducks are in a row so that by the time Aunt Marge comes over, I'm not gonna have to worry about her criticizing me because everything's gonna be done. But then something could possibly go wrong here with that. And that is actually, it's meant to be a turning point and an awakening and an enlightening experience here for you, where you get some kind of realization or insight, but we'll get to that here in a second. Regardless, this person, there's another personality here that's around you. And I feel like that is really like the rub. It's the friction that you are experiencing. And this person might be in a position of authority. It could have certainly some kind of family energy here with the King of Pentacles. This could be a spouse. This could also be, I'm strongly getting like a father, but whoever it is, they have a big personality. And maybe they have a lot of, they move a lot. They could talk a lot with their bodies, with their hands. But they are not very diplomatic. They don't ever mean to be. Maybe they have high expectations, and this person just pops off at the mouth. Like you are a very measured, very filtered process. I just mentioned a whole lot of planning here for you. This person is very impulsive. Like if something's wrong, they're going to let you know, and they're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt or anything like that. But it's a very kind of abrasive person. And I think this is a competitive person in some regard. Like they want to be seen as perfect. So if this is a spouse, maybe you're hosting holiday stuff and people are coming over and they want everything to be perfect. So it's not about how everybody feels in the space. It's about, whether or not the linens are all facing east or whatever people do, And it's like a lot of pressure here on you. But I think there is, so with this kind of a more abrasive, perfectionist, competitive, honestly, personality, maybe you're one of those families that likes to play board games and this person just like gets very competitive with you or something. And you're like, man, like we're just playing Scrabble. I don't know why it's got to be this big ordeal. But I do feel like there is something here that happens. Something doesn't go right. It's unexpected, right? With the Tower. It could be, honestly, an argument. And I feel like you are observing this. So I don't think it directly involves you. But for some of you, it very well could. Even if it does involve you, I feel like you're very much in your observer mind, observer space, where you're just kind of watching this person. And something does click here for you in regards to this. And that's the spiritual like driver of this. You know, where it's almost like, because with this Pluto Mars, right? And I think this is a very good approach for you to have, let me just say as well, because the energy between you is this Mars Pluto, and you're showing up as Pluto and they're showing up as Mars. If you have these two in a fight, because they both like to fight, or they both can be drawn to fight, Pluto maybe kind of can get itself in there subconsciously. Mars usually wins, especially in the short term, because Mars is much more conscious. And there is something here about this person that I feel like you're realizing they are a fire starter on purpose, you know, or they are consciously engaged with something because they're overly competitive, because they have to win, because they're abrasive, and because there doesn't seem to be much of a diplomatic bone here in this person's body. You're just realizing that. And so you're withdrawn in here on yourself, like with this hermit energy, and you're really starting to reflect. And I think whatever this is, it is like some kind of realization or transformation that is happening here with you. And it does end up leading to a lot of healing and a lot of introspection, which, like I said, a lot of times that's how it goes for a Sun Pluto person. They try to control their external environment, and then something unexpected happens and it pushes them right back into their own internal environment, which, thank goodness, most of them are usually very adept at handling. And you certainly are showing up here with this. So it's increasing your own intuition here with the Hierophant. That's really what I'm getting. And also with the Temperance, there's a sense of like finding the middle way, going internal. He's got his eyes closed here. And the Hermit is also another indication of this. I feel like this is a turning point here for you. And there is like a lot of soul searching, a lot of introspection. I think some of you guys, there's a sense of you keeping to yourself, you know, or not feeling like you belong, even if you are mixing and mingling and hanging out by the punch bowl. You know, you are kind of withdrawn in and of yourself, and you are being very observant here in this situation. So I think that there's a lot of maybe you want to take some kind of focused action based on your own values here. And I think you will, because this, whatever this happens, like what it's bringing up within you is a lot of buried emotion and repressed things. I think specifically anger. And it could have just reminded you, I think for a lot of you guys, this could be a parent, or it's like you wake up to realize you married, like your spouse is indicative of your most difficult parent. You know, they say that that's like very common to happen, because it's supposed to, like, in theory, encourage healing. But of course, you have to have a certain want to do that. You know, your partner has to as well. It has to be like a conscious relationship. So some of you guys might have that realization, like, oh my God, I married my father, or I married my mother, you know, whatever that is. And now I find myself here in this situation. But it's meant to be a turning point. So this is bringing up some kind of repressed anger, maybe even anxiety here. Because a lot of you, I think you feel very energized and stuff when you're not around this person or in this space. And then all of a sudden it's bringing those things up that you very much recognize. I think a lot of you guys could have had a very domineering parental figure. It's showing up as a father with the Sun energy, but it's just a parental figure that's around you. Maybe this is echoed in a boss or in a spouse or in a, you know, or maybe you go home and you re-experience this parental figure where they could have like very much been like a police person, you know, while you were growing up, or they had a lot of expectations of you and didn't really care to see or nurture or encourage you. I think they can kind of like prod at you. So you are taking the time to heal your own self here. I think you're noticing that a lot of people around this person pretend, this is my Emperor wannabe card. So they pretend like they're the Emperor. And you could even be seeing that here in this person, that they are like putting on a bit of a show, or that they are actually very insecure. I think you're feeling like you have a lot of responsibility in this situation, but it's like responsibility to keep the peace. You're realizing that this person's just popping off like at the mouth. They're being very impulsive. They're shooting from the hip, as they say, and you have to be very strategic. Everybody is like walking on eggshells around this person. That's what I feel like. You're starting to realize that. And so I think some of you guys want to address this. And I think for a lot of you guys, you could be getting some kind of like, finally after this, whatever happens, it's like you're getting yourself into therapy, or you're getting yourself a journal, or it's like you don't want to bury this back down. That's what the gift of this is, because Mars likes to take very focused action. So it's like, whatever, how this person's personality or something they say, it's going to hit something in you and it's going to come up. And it's almost like, to your everlasting credit, I feel like once it's up, you're like, oh, I'm not stuffing this back down. This has got to come out, right? Whether that is with a therapist, whether that's with a safe friend who has some social emotional intelligence, whether that's in a journal, whether you're going to rip up 400 pages of just paper and burn it, like whatever it is, I feel like you're taking some kind of action to resolve this here within yourself. And that's what Spirit ultimately wants, right? I feel like this could be a bit of a milestone moment for you in building your own self-confidence. And that's wild, because I think a lot of you have confidence, creativity, all of that whenever you're out and about here in the world. Now, there's also another vibration here to your own energy where it's like, I think because you were around this person, or because of who your father was especially, or your parent, the sub cues of winning and success and drive or whatever, I think you have these two sides of you where it's like you are driven to win, to be successful, to be the best. And this could just be in the quality of whatever it is that you're doing. Maybe some of you aren't so like materialistically driven, but you still want to be the best and have some kind of recognition here of that and have some kind of expert level knowledge. But on the same time, you might be afraid of that because you don't want this person's attention more than anything. It's like you don't want their attention on you because it's like a laser beam. So I think some of you are, one thing that you could be realizing is that you self-sabotage your own success because it takes the pressure off of you. Sometimes when we're around these very competitive types, it's like you don't want to talk about your wins because they're always competing with you. You know what I mean? Like, you ever have that person, you get a promotion or something and you're like, yeah, I got made manager. And their first question is like, well, how many people do you manage? And you're like, I don't know, 6. And then this person's like, well, I manage 200, and you're like, okay. I don't know why we're talking about this. It's like kind of weird. They make it like into a weird competition, or like nothing that you do is ever good enough. And so I think you're growing in your maturity and your wisdom, and you're withdrawn on yourself, but you're connecting with your intuition. I really strongly think this is going to be a pivotal point here for you. And a lot of you guys are leaving this space, like you're going no contact. I mean, makeup, this is definitely, I'm not trying to condone anything. We all have to make decisions that are right for ourselves. And honestly, I can just say this, like therapy has really helped me with that. Having somebody who understands, kind of these personality profiles and can help you like navigate this experience. But I do feel like a lot of you guys are going to be leaving like this job that you're at where you have this tyrannical boss, or this family situation where you're like, and this doesn't have to be like, okay, you walk out and leave forever. It certainly could, because some of you, it's bad enough where you're realizing that you trust the wrong people, and that I think some of you are just realizing how anxious you feel around this other person constantly. You're like, oh my gosh, what is happening to my nervous system right now? There's something like that where you realize it. For some of you, you're just learning like when it is that you need to walk away. And if I can make a suggestion to you, definitely plan that out. I feel like if you have a drive, like if this is you going home for the holidays, or if you know that you have to deal with this difficult boss, or this could be like a director, like you have a supervisor and then you have the director of like the region and they are coming in around this time. That could be what this is as well, where you feel comfortable and you feel like you can shine the light on yourself, but then this person gets around and it's all of a sudden nobody wants the light on them, Make a plan. Have like good excuses or something, and I'll give you one card from my own playbook dealing with these difficult personality types, because sometimes they'll like come at you. It's never really, you find out, at least I have, that it's not good to like defend yourself. But one thing that always works for me pretty well, if you can't get out of that situation, is to ask a clarifying question, to get like very curious about it. So if somebody's like, I don't know, I can't think of like a good example, but just to in it, like just in good faith, ask them a question to clarify what they meant, because so often it's like they want to like judge you or point the finger at you. And if you seek to understand what it is that they're saying, then a lot of times that will naturally unravel itself. Like that's not actually a problem because we can clarify this. Tyranny is the deliberate removal of nuance. So a lot of times these competitive types will try to overlook a bunch of nuance, but if you can ask a question that would bring up the fact that there's nuance, then that's a way for you to have that conversation if it needs to be, or just for the people around, for it to signal to the people around that you're not being combative, but that there's more to the story. You know what I'm saying? But you can also have like a plan, you know, where if somebody starts to pop off, you know, you can, if you're there with someone else, you can kind of signal like, oh, Gary's calling me. 1 second, I have to take this. He said he was going to call and I've been waiting for this. And then you can leave the room, you know, or, okay, well, we really talk, like we got to get going, you know, have those kind of exit strategies and plans, like before you get into the situation, and know how you're going to handle it smoothly. If that makes sense. So, I would highly suggest that, because something is going to happen. It's unexpected. And this person does not handle like things that are unexpected very well at all. And that could have been part of your realization here with the Ace of Wands. Also with this clover and this nurturing energy, I feel like if you can go ahead and like plan for like some self-nurturing, if you know you have to be around this difficult person, schedule a massage right after, you know, or ask your spouse to do it if they're not this problematic person, you know, be like, hey, I know Thursday is going to be tough. Maybe could we have like a bath night or something, or you could give me a massage, something nice, because I know I'm going to need it. Plan for those things. Plan to take care of yourself a little bit more, like as you're going into this. That's what Spirit is saying. Also, there could be some of you where I'm sorry, my hands are tied will be like a good response to something where you feel like they're asking you something in order for you to cause like a trouble or a problem, you know? And Spirit wants to put you like in your own power and in the driver's seat. And also this is a good way for you to trust your intuition. So I feel like if you trust your intuition and you get clear and present, maybe you meditate before you go in, like you're going to have intuitive hits. I feel like your guide team knows this is happening and they're just going to be surrounding you, and like the answers like really are going to come. So let's see. I know like I was already getting some. Also binge watch Dr. Ramani before you go. Like definitely, you know, maybe read In Sheep's Clothing. So like just a good refresher on how to deal with like manipulative types or something like that. So let's see, Spirit, what can pile number 1 lead towards? Like what energy can they lean towards in order to help them through this experience? Lover, great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. Desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. So yeah, just like connecting with the people that you love around, focusing on what you love. And look, he's like in his mask and all like covered up here. So it's like having love for somebody, but also maintaining a certain amount of anonymity. What can you lean away from? Slave, giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. What else? Trading ethical principles for victory at any cost. Indifference to the suffering inflicted on others. Okay, and I saw the gossip card multiple times. So this person might try to rope you into gossip. And if you focus on like what works, so like these gossipy people, you know, like I'm talking about with gossip, like I just mean when somebody comes up to you and starts telling you someone else's business and you don't know this person, you know, whatever, and it makes you feel uncomfortable, like you can just show your appreciation and your passion. Like, oh my gosh, well, they actually helped me out on Tuesday and it was really great. You know, we all have our moments. That doesn't really sound like him to me, I'm sure, like, and demonstrate that compassion and that love, and balance out those scales of justice. You can just throw it out there, you know, like that. And not allowing this person to just like, although that could be like what makes this person pop off, because I feel like this is a very unstable person that wants to win and they want everybody to agree with them here at all times. So it's like you got to kind of be slick about it. And I think you know, and I think you're probably pretty good at it with your words, especially kind of knowing when to button up the hatch there. But don't trade your own ethical principles. and don't be indifferent to the suffering that is inflicted upon others. Because I get this sense with this person, there's like a sense of fallout around this person. They think they're winning all the time, but they're not. They're actually like chaotic, and they're hurting other people. And look, you can see this is other people around this person. You kind of realize that other people around this person are smaller. So maybe you thought this person had a larger than life personality, but you're realizing that they just seem like it, because in comparison, everybody can pick up on this person's volatile energy, and they're kind of shutting down, and everyone's tight-lipped, and this person, everyone's trying to navigate around this person. And like I said, walking on eggshells and listening to their own intuition. But actually this person, there's something about this person that blocks other people's intuition, because they're so on guard, I think. So yeah, you feel like you have a lot of responsibility here in this situation. Yeah. Yeah, to be like a shapeshifter, and it could have to do with money or leadership position. And also just to maintain your own. I think you are a person who has like strong principles that you expect from yourself. You are anxious, but you hide your nerves very, very well. And for some of you, maybe you didn't want to be alone or something on the holidays, so you decided it would be better to go here, but then like maybe you regretted it or something like that. So yeah, that is what I have for you guys, pile number 1, for what is next. I see you making, like, here's what I really want you to take away from this is you can trust yourself in this situation. You're very observant, and you seem to be making some kind of big progress here within yourself. You have some kind of insight that's leading to healing and you stabilizing your own energy. And I just feel like this is a strong turning point where you're trusting your own intuition and you are moving towards like your own success. There's a lot of indicators here for that. And all of this connects back to, I think, you feeling powerless, or like your own will was thwarted here in childhood. Maybe because you had a very domineering father figure who put a lot of these expectations to win, and on competitiveness and yeah, all of that. And some of you guys are finding that this is echoed in like somebody here that you married. It doesn't have to be a man, by the way. But like I said, I'm hearing cult of personality. So maybe there's a cult of personality that is around this person, but you are recognizing that there's so much more that's moving beneath the surface. So anyways, definitely don't forget to take time to nurture yourself, self-care before you go into this situation or after it. Like if you can really kind of think about this, but understand that still something might go wrong. So you can also plan for this transition within yourself ahead of time, right? I'm going to be in planning mode until Wednesday, and then I'm going to let go. I'm going to do my meditation. I'm going to initiate that process of going internal so that when this sudden moment happens, I'm not surprised and I don't get jolted back into myself. I'm already there, you know? So anyways, I'll stop talking at you guys. Thank you for watching. If that resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye, guys. All right, pile number 2. What is ahead for you guys? Well, this is another kind of a difficult energy actually, but I feel like this one is very internal. Like you have a lot going on inside of you, and I want to call it an identity crisis, but it's not quite that, because I think you know very well who and what you are. I think what it is that you haven't expressed a different side to you externally. With this Aquarius energy, a side to you that you think maybe rocks the boat. It's a little bit different. It could be very jarring, very shocking for the people that are around you. And you're just thinking about that now. And I actually think it's causing you a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, a lot of turmoil. Some of you are tossing and turning at night. You are staying up thinking about this. It is causing you a lot of stress here, because you tend to sense on a very visceral level that you are working your way up here to a decision where it has very long-term consequences. And Spirit is backing you up on that. Spirit is saying, absolutely, this is a process-oriented experience. This is not a decision that is supposed to be rushed. There is no quick fix. There is no easy answer. And really the only way to arrive at this answer, I feel like, is to grapple with this, is to kind of get to know yourself and go through this process. Like I said, there's not like an easy fix to it. On top of that, I feel like you sense that there's a vibe where if you did open up about this now, people would not be understanding about it. It might blindside certain people. And I think on some level, you sense that you yourself are not necessarily ready to defend yourself against the barrage of questions or judgments that people might have for you, like at this current time. But at the same time, maybe it is because of the holiday season where you feel like all your friends and family are gathered around, and this has been causing you a lot of turmoil, and it's almost like for once you just want to be impulsive and just blurt it out, whatever this is, so that you can put this down. I think you sense if you did that it would cause more harm than good just at the present time. It's not that it's a never, that kind of a thing. So it does weigh very heavily on you, and I feel like you're restricting your own self-expression here to some degree. And whatever this is, it's very important to you. Like you hold it in high regard, high reverence. And I think it's important to your soul, like you're on your soul's journey. So it seems to me that you are stuck in some kind of proverbial closet of some sort. Maybe this is a sexuality thing, although it doesn't have to be. I think for a lot of you, this has to do with whatever it is that you are doing for a living. But just take this how it resonates. I'm getting the sense that you want much more than this provincial life. That's what I'm getting. Beauty and the Beast. And I'm hearing that part from the song where they're like, she's nothing like the rest of us. That. So some of you guys could feel that you're outing yourself as like the black sheep of the family, or somebody who's different and wants to go a different way. And for some of you, I think you're afraid that you're going to be seen as somebody who's rocking the boat and ungrateful. Because I can see here as well, I think if people were to describe your personality, you are someone they would describe with a lot of moon traits. Somebody who is very kind, very caring, nurturing, very empathetic. Somebody who likes to do good things for other people. Make sure that other people are taken care of. And if you can bring any sense of peace, harmony to them, I think a lot of you negotiate on behalf of other people in order to get whatever it is that makes them happy and feel good and feel harmonious. But some of you don't feel like people do that to you, because that is a very true and authentic part of yourself, but it's not the only part. Some of you guys really, there's something very creative here. You want to be seen. You don't want to just take care of everybody else. You have wishes and hopes and dreams that you want for yourself. And I think whatever this other thing is, it seems to be very creative with the Empress energy. So, okay. Yeah, let's talk about this, because there's also, to make matters more complicated, or just as complicated as they are actually, you've already been working towards something here in the past. And I think whatever this was, it was perhaps the more traditional route. Maybe you thought that that was what was expected of you. If you went down this route, you would still be able to find some kind of balance or happiness. And maybe you can, but I feel like it hasn't fulfilled you in a way that you were necessarily hoping. But I do see somebody here who has done a lot, made a lot of progress towards meeting their deficiency needs, like jumping over to Maslow's hierarchy. So your safety, security needs, your physiological needs, all of that. Like you have taken care of those like lower order needs for yourself that you need to survive. So even though like you have all this turmoil and chaos that's going on here and nobody knows that you're probably going through this, because I can see this, I do feel a part of this needs to be celebrated, because it's almost like the reason that you are dealing with this in the first place is because you have reached a pinnacle of sorts that should be honestly celebrated. You have reached some level of success here, some level of stability within yourself, that these questions of fulfillment and enjoyment and being able to express yourself in the way that you want to express yourself and pursue that for yourself with your energy and your human life, that is amazing. So I just want to say, like, it doesn't seem like it, but to me, this is kind of already a mark of being successful in some way, shape, or form. Not that it makes the question of self-actualizing any less important. It certainly doesn't. And this is definitely what's in front of you here now. But I just want to pause and say, good job, pile number 2. I think some of you do want to balance the scales here for yourself. Okay. Another aspect of this, this to me, there's like an element of like maybe educational degrees or some kind of credentialing that has led to some sort of financial gains. So that could be another aspect of this traditional path that you've been on, because this is Saturn in Taurus, which is a restriction of voice, a restriction of your own self-expression, and maybe fulfilling a duty to your family of origin. Because perhaps some of these people have like funded your education, or they supported your education in some way. And it's like, why did we put you through marketing school if you weren't going to go down the path of advertising? Because there's a sense here that you're on a track, and all you have to do is keep small, restrict that voice, not worry about your own self-expression or self-actualizing, and then you're going to be successful. This is a key part in spiritual development, I want to say, because I have this theory. Somebody else has probably articulated this already and way better than me, but I think that our ego actually crystallizes and becomes the cocoon that we have to push out of in order to build our wing strength, if that makes sense. Because you can't go through life not building up your ego. That's the part of you that understands that you're separate from these other people, and so you can evaluate yourself appropriately, And because of that, you can learn about what other things in the world are, because they exist separate from you. You can't really get around that in developing your physical self as a person. But there comes a point, which I feel you have reached here. That's one thing Spirit is like, yay! Where you have reached here, where it's like now your caterpillar self has turned to goo, and you have built these wings, and they have to push against this cocoon that has crystallized, which is your own ego identity, which I think for a lot of you is nurturing, caring, family oriented, very traditional. And so you're pushing through that in order to express this Aquarius energy. I cannot express this enough. Spirit is emphasizing that this is not about making a singular decision floating by itself in time. It's connected to a process, and it's not going to make sense, and it's not going to work out as well as it could if you don't think of it as like you engaging with this process where you're building your wing strength, that kind of thing. And I think the way that a lot of you have already started to do this is you are engaging and indulging whatever it is that you like here that feels weird, and it feels different, and it feels like other people wouldn't understand. You are already engaging with this in some way. And I think for a lot of you, this is about building connection and building like another group of people. But I think you're keeping both of these aspects here of your life very separate. It's like you're a dentist Monday through Friday, but you're making an album on Saturday and Sunday, And I think that's very good. Like, I think Spirit is very much encouraging that, because while you're making the album, maybe you're hanging out in certain, like around other musicians, you're frequenting certain places, you are actually building up a group of people around you who understand this other side to you. And there is going to be a period of growth in whatever this is. Maybe even some of you are going to receive some kind of public honors. There's also a vibe of eloquence here. I think some of you could be very good with your words. And so part of this might be just finding the words, figuring out how to present this other side to you in a way that makes you feel safe. And if you're around other people who have maybe already had this conversation with people in their lives, they might have some wisdom to give to you. So I can see that you're very boundaried here, and you're experiencing a lot of harmony, like within your own home. Like, I just feel like you're blooming and blossoming and growing within yourself here. And it's just, whatever this is that you're working on, I kind of feel like some of you are waiting in a metaphorical sense. unless you are actually working on an album. But it's like, in a metaphorical sense, it's like, okay, I'm going to wait till my album is done. I'm going to put it out. I'm going to see how it does. And then I'm going to tell people about it. You know, like once you've already done it, that kind of thing. And I think you're like, I don't know, there is a sense that you need to be strategic about this. And I think like who you're around, even though it might not be like make you as universally liked as you have been in the past or something like that, the people who you are around, there might be, you might lose some of those people, but it's like you're gaining a kind of a different group of friends. And I think some of you guys, like you are going to change and transform. You're not going to be the same person that you were here in the past. And how do I describe this? It's like you're going to gain in confidence. And you're going to feel like where you're not addressing whatever this is from a place of defensiveness, you're going to embrace it from a sense of self-knowing and self-understanding. Moving from Mars, which can be impulsive and feels like it needs to defend itself and maybe it needs to go on the attack first. It's that kind of energy tense. You're moving to the sun where you are creative and it's pulling in. You're creating a certain amount of gravity here around you. And some of you guys, it might mean that you are leaving certain places behind, but I feel like these little baby steps that you're taking, it's important because it is helping to build support around you. It's building your confidence. I feel like when you finally address whatever this is, you are going to not be in this state of anxiety. So I would hope that you guys would be very gentle with yourself and, you know, and compassionate and understand that you're working your way through this process and try to be fair to yourself here as well. That's what I feel like this is ultimately. Some of you, like, it's telling you to do this in secret. This is so funny because you have all this moon energy, right? And I get the sense that what makes you feel comfortable is taking care of people. It is like this more stable, nurturing side. But then Spirit up here is saying, this is moon in Aquarius, right? Which is this other side. Moon in Aquarius is somebody who feels comforted by thinking outside of the box, being around people who are pushing the envelope, pushing the boundaries. Achieving your goals, setting aspirations and goals and then actually achieving them is also another thing that Aquarius rules over. So I feel like you're going to start experiencing this sense of security and achievement and inner fulfillment when you start to achieve some of your goals. Because I do see a period of growth here in your future. Again, maybe some kind of public honors. I think you are cutting ties with things that no longer serve you, and you're building up this like sense of confidence, and you're building up your solar plexus chakra. So that in and of itself is changing the vibration here. Solar plexus chakra is all about expressing yourself. So some of you are like, sorry I keep using dentist, but I know some of you work with bones. So, say you're a dentist and it's like, but you're trying out for plays and stuff. Maybe like there's holiday plays. They probably already did their tryouts for that actually. You can't like join the Nutcracker, like right now. But whatever it is, I think you're actually taking steps. And there's a grieving process that's happening as well. And there's also a sense for you to be strategic. And I don't know, it's not necessarily manipulative, although the definition of manipulation from one of my astrology books was to handle with dexterity. And I think there's obviously there's a higher vibration and a lower vibration of that energy. But I'm seeing a lot of you guys, this is a higher vibration of that, where you're just learning how to be smart with your energy and what you want and how it is that you put yourself forward there. And a lot of you feel like you're afraid of feeling this pull towards the material world because you want to put yourself out there. You do. You want to be seen. You want to be celebrated and appreciated as an individual, as someone who is stunning, as someone who is creative, is beautiful. And you want to start changing your aspects of your personality. Put yourself out there like that. Yeah. Oh my gosh, look, the Emperor and the Empress. Okay, so there's an alternative storyline here as well. Some of you guys, maybe you recently developed a crush on a friend and this friend started expressing themselves and you were like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that you were into Pokemon. I'm into Pokemon, or Dungeons and Dragons, or I don't know. They started to express themselves more and open up more. And then all of a sudden you were like, whoa. And you all of a sudden started to develop feelings here for this person. If not, then it's one of your friends that has started to develop feelings here for you. But that could have caused you a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear because, for you to come out of your shell here as well. It could be that this person comes from like a different strata of society or a different friend group than your family of origin does, and like the people that are around you. And it could be, again, like I think this energy is very layered, and it could show up in weird areas of your life, because it almost just feels like this is a big soul lesson that your soul wants to learn, is how to integrate these opposite impulses. And there's something about this other person that represents living outside the norm or pushing the boundaries. They have come alive with their own uniqueness, and that's something that you want here as well, for yourself. So I think you might have been developing secret feelings for somebody. Maybe you've been checking their social media. Maybe that's when, I don't know, they could have started a business or something where they are making something and you just didn't expect that. And you were like, wow, this person's enjoying their life. They're living their truth. They're being of service. They're helping other people. I don't know. Maybe there's a sense that with this other person, other people can see that this person is different, but there's a certain level of perfection here as well. And you maybe feel more traditional and more stable. I just heard the word frumpy, but I don't think people would describe your energy as frumpy. I think you just feel this because you're struggling with this, you're struggling with your own this sense of self, and that it just makes you feel that way. But you don't come across that way. Some of you come across like quite beautiful, quite glamorous. So yeah, I think in the future it's almost like you're going to be embracing maybe this, like, you're going to have two sides to yourself, two sides to your personality here. But a lot of this has to do with like friends and who is around you, having courage, putting your personal efforts towards something. Some of you could be writing something here in the future. Maybe this is a business plan, right? Yeah, making some sort of a plan. How you're going to divide your time so you can meet all of your responsibilities, things like that. And I think you're going to be very protective over this here. And then when the time is right, that is when you could potentially, I don't know, come out with this. But I do see you getting some kind of effort, like through your own efforts here, getting some sort of growth and prosperity, possibly public honors in regards to whatever this is. And that actually might change the dynamics and how you can share this other side to yourself. But I'm seeing this like heavily coming out as a process where Spirit is saying, try not to hate yourself and blame yourself because you're having this internal struggle. Instead, embrace it. Thank yourself for having taken yourself this far where you have so efficiently met your deficiency needs here. Yeah, and I think a lot of you guys are, it's like you're trying to balance out these two sides to yourself, and I feel like it's a process. That everybody kind of has to go through. You're pushing through that crystallized ego identity, and you're moving more towards authenticity. You are. I feel like I'm just supposed to tell you like this is the process. So let's get some cards for like how you can better navigate this. What can you move towards? I just saw hedonist. So it's just gravitating towards the things that you love, allowing yourself to indulge in the things that you love. Okay, so what can pile number 2 move towards to help this process along? Servant, delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. So it could just be like doing something here for free, putting it out there, seeing, this is a lot of, I watched something on this and I wish I could remember that man's name that I was watching his interview because he was so incredibly insightful. But he was talking about like when you're starting like a passion project, a passion business, so many people will give you bad advice saying like, oh, charge what you're worth. And he says like at the beginning, charge what you can get because that's going to get you practice. It's going to allow you to put yourself out there. Some of you guys want to volunteer. You probably are doing very well financially, but just being of service here. What to move away from? Misuse of the power and knowledge that come through spiritual practice. How would that come about? Father. Dictatorial control, abuse of authority. Whoa, we have father and mother. Y'all. Okay, moving away from expectations of father and mother. Because, okay, the mother card says smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent, for going their own way. And then this father is this dictatorial control and abuse of authority. So some of you guys might have very controlling people around you with all their expectations and saying to move away from that. Move towards, hold on. There was a card here about personal empowerment that I just saw. Your own personal empowerment. What can pile number 2 move towards? Gambler, willingness to follow your own intuition even when others doubt you, especially if it's this mother or father energy around you. Facilitates spiritual commitments, serves as a channel of spiritual energy. There's definitely something creative. I knew this card was going to come out. There's something creative that you're doing, because to me, creative energy is divine energy. You don't necessarily have to be working in the spiritual arts, but like anytime you're being very artistic or creative with your own life force, that is to me spiritual energy. With the Thief card, sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. Yeah. So this is, I'm sure this sucks. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure this feels very, very uncomfortable. I can see it here in the cards that you guys are very much stressing about this. And in this case, I feel like the struggle is the path. My mother-in-law has this quote that hangs in her kitchen, and it says, just because you're struggling does not mean that you are failing. And that is definitely true here for this pile. I think it's actually a win for you that you are even at this level of your own spiritual development. If nobody can see it, please hear me say this: good job. And I do feel like Spirit is encouraging some of you to enjoy the fruits of your labor here as well, in order to like take a little bit of the pressure off. Some of you guys, you might have also been drawn to pile number 1, because I think some of you guys have some really opinionated parentals, let's call it that, or family members. So yeah, I think I feel like I've been talking for so long, but that's what I have for you guys, pile number 2. I hope that that was helpful for you. If that resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye, guys. Okay, pile number 3. What is ahead for you? Well, this pile is coming through a little more muddled than the first two, but I think that's because that's the energy that you are in here in the future, because I feel like you're trying to make up your mind about something. Yeah. And so I feel like you're information gathering, and it's a difficult task because it's almost like, on the one hand, your more emotional side, your more intuitive side is gathering information, and that's telling you one thing. But then your more left-brained, logical, pattern finding, data side, and possibly even tidbits of information that you're picking up here from other people, that's telling you another thing. And they're both at odds here with one another, and it just leaves you feeling confused. So you're trying to make up your mind. You're trying to find some semblance of clarity. But whatever this is that you're kind of sniffing around here in the future, I feel like there is a sense that there's like information being suppressed. It's kept really hush hush. Only the people in the inner circle really know what's going on. Maybe a sense of being like, whatever it is, it's like very boundaried and very private. So you only hear like whispers or something. Now, there's also a sense of like this connected energy and like very social energy that's coming through this pile as well. So I think a lot of this information gathering, it is coming from other people. Like, this totally makes sense to me because, we're headed into the holiday season. So maybe some of you guys, you're reconnecting with friends, you're going out to get a cocoa and just, catching up with people and hearing what the fresh news is with everybody. And, you're reconnecting with your friends and family. And there is a sense of just like chitter chatter around. And, don't get me wrong, I think like you are genuinely and authentically connecting here with these people, but you also have this like ulterior motive where you're keeping your ear to the ground, where you're trying to hear whispers, you're trying to find out and poke around to get more information here about whatever this is. And this, I think it's a noun. A person, place, or a thing. So for more insights like this, please subscribe to my channel. Sorry. Oh, I amused myself. But whatever it is, I think it's different for all of you. For some of you, maybe it's a person, like maybe you go to some kind of a reunion or something. You go back to your hometown for like the holidays or something, and you reconnect with old friends, and you see somebody here from your past, and you want to know what the scoop is on that person, maybe for some of you. For others of you, I feel like this is like a job or like an opportunity here of some kind. But whatever this is, I feel like it's from your past. And there's a sense that it's very unique and it's very valuable. Whatever it is, very, very different. And I think, okay, so let me just use this example of like this dream job, right? Because I think that's for a lot of you. There's a sense that maybe you were trying to manifest whatever this was here in the past, but you didn't really know how it was going to come about there in the future. You didn't know the specifics of it or if it was even possible. But there's also a sense that maybe the current of your life has like taken you away from whatever this is, just very naturally. Or maybe like you found out about this job after the position had already been filled or something, but there's just a sense that the momentum of your life carried you away from this. And for some of you guys, maybe this is functioning dysfunction with the Six of Swords, because I think for a lot of you like your energy is very strong. It's very persistent. It's very stubborn, like the way that it's coming through here, like in a good way. I think like whenever you set your sights on something, you really do want to go after it. And like you come on very strong to whatever that is. And maybe here in the past, because this is Mercury and Aquarius energy, and people like that can really like, they get their mind fixated on like an idea, something that is very interesting, and it's like they don't like to get pulled away from thinking about it. So something like that could have happened where you missed out on whatever this opportunity was, and maybe you felt like you didn't handle it with the tact that you would have liked, so you didn't put your best foot forward, and then it passed you by. It very much has that type of an energy, but perhaps because you seem to be very well connected here, you have heard whispers that maybe so-and-so is going to retire, and that whatever this was, opportunity, maybe person, like maybe they are going to become available again or be around you again. Something like that, you know? You just heard little stirrings. And so you're trying to find out more information about whatever this is. Because I feel like something here was open-ended in the past where you did whatever this was that was you were trying to manifest. It's like you didn't know how this was really going to come about. There's like open-ended, hazy sort of questions. But now I think you're trying to figure out if this is actually a viable step here for you. So, and for some of you, this does involve like family, where you're thinking, you know, is this the best step for me and my family? Is it a viable option for us? That kind of a thing where, I don't know, say your dream job, like it, you know, it involves some sort of travel. But, you know, you're sniffing around this and you're like, you know, well, so how many days exactly a year would I have to be traveling? You know, and I don't think you would put it like that because that's very direct, because you're kind of throwing your hat out there, like maybe you're interested. I think you're being a lot more indirect or smooth, you know, about getting whatever information this is. You're asking very open-ended questions, but people can sense that you are sniffing around whatever this is, because if nobody's told you, pile number 3, your energy is like a bull. I mean, it's like in a good way, in a good way. It's very strong. It is very determined. I feel like you have like a lot of mass, energetic mass, like around you, for whatever direction that you make moves towards. And I think this could work out actually kind of, I think it's kind of good. Like if this is a job opportunity and maybe people are supposed to be hush hush about this, they want you to be competitive. They want you to put your best foot forward, that kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah, you're trying to find out information because there's also a sense that with whatever this is, you would need to be competitive because it's very desirable. Like whatever this is, it's interesting, it's different, it's unique, and it's very viable. I do have to say, if this is a person, they're very attractive. I think there could be something about this person that sends people into a bit of a frenzy because they're so interesting, different, and unique. I think there's like a very sexy quality to this person they can't quite put your finger on. Oh, you really want to put your finger on it though. Wink. Anyways, yeah, so, but they're, regardless of what this is, I'm trying to like, I don't know, because I think it could be so many different things. So I'm trying to be general here. But there is a sense that you would have to compete for it. And I think that that actually is nice for you. You are building up some kind of a strategy in order for you to be competitive in whatever situation this is. And that I feel like is the key that you are kind of like stumbling around for, you know? So if this is a job, it's like, there's a sense here of you being well connected. I do just want to say that. Like the people around you, maybe they are very social people. They're like very socially inclined and they can be very dexterous managing themselves around a social situation. So maybe some of you can just ask these people outright, you know, you're like, I want to find out this information. And they are so socially dexterous that they can get that information for you. I think there's a sense of people being very lively, vibrant, social. Maybe they're leaders. They can be very creative. Maybe some of these people are in your family. Or they have families of their own, or they have like different creative projects. But there is a sense that they could stand here between you and like total annihilation, like, you know, keep me from getting some egg on my face, that kind of thing. So yeah, whatever it is, I feel like you're searching around for some kind of key. So say this is a job opportunity. It's like, okay, well, you know that it's in your field, you know that you're qualified for it or whatever, but you're like, well, what exactly are they looking for? And these people can kind of hint that, oh, well, you know, they really want somebody with editing skills or something. And there is a sense, because the universe is saying like, there's a sense here that you could, even if you don't have editing skills, you could enroll in a class and like take some kind of editing skills. You know what I mean? So that you're ready in the future whenever whatever this is becomes available. There's also a sense that some of you guys might want to, because what spirit is coming through to say, like what spirit is hoping is going to happen. I feel like this whole situation around this and like all of these whispers and oh my goodness, it really is to reconnect you with this sense of wonder and like everything is possible, and to renew a sense of hope within you, a sense of faith, and also to reconnect you, I feel like, with a sense of overall meaning here in your life and inspiration and purpose. Because I think a lot of you have built yourself up here in a sense. Maybe, I don't know, to reconnect you with meaning. I don't know, that keeps coming through strong. Because whatever it is that you do, I want to say that for a lot of you, this is job related. Maybe the person thing's coming through because you know, like the CEO of the company or something, as an example. But maybe you had a falling out with them, and I don't know. But there's a sense here that you have maybe become successful here in something because you are persistent and determined, and you just keep like, maybe like, I don't know, you can achieve like whatever it is you put your mind to over time in the material world. And maybe you have experienced some success here with this. But in the past, I feel like you got there with an engine of a heart of service and like of loving humanity or something, like having very humanitarian values. And there's something about that, whether this is like, I don't know, with a company or with a person, where that might not be so clear, or you want to bring about this side of you again. And spirit is all about that. You know, spirit's not saying like you're a miser and you don't ever give of your energy for free. There's always got to be something in it for you. Spirit's not saying that. Spirit's saying, no, you've got a heart of service. You have humanitarian values. It's just like through whatever opportunity this is, spirit is like, yes, like fold that in, bring that back out here of yourself. There's something about that through whatever this opportunity is. Maybe this is some kind of a nonprofit, or they have like humanitarian goals or values, because there's a sense that maybe around you, there's like, maybe you've been doing things and it's been building you power, prestige, luxury. It's getting you in with the right crowd, but you want to reconnect with that more humanitarian side. There is like some sort of a perceived disagreement or something, or maybe you're scared that wouldn't come across in your resume. Like you've been working in the private sector or something, and you really want to do something more service oriented. I don't know. That's like very much coming through. So spirit is saying, like the advice with whatever this is, with the 8 of Pentacles, I just feel like it's continue working, continue perfecting your craft here, and take a long-term approach to whatever this is. I think, like I keep saying, I think some of you guys are going to get the green light to take some kind of action here in the material world. You know, you're going to know what direction that it is that you can put your energy towards. And even if it doesn't come around this time, I feel like spirit could be positioning you, like, I don't know, there's something where things could potentially work out and come together in the future. But I feel like it's all about putting in the reps, doing the hard work, being of service, and just showing up in that way, especially if this is a person. I do just want to say that, because that would be like the big difference that I'm seeing is like, you know, there's a big debate about whether or not you can manifest specific people. And if you've watched my channel for a while, you probably already know where I stand on it, which is not everyone has a strong will. I think you can manifest away to people who have like very weak will, but this is not a person who has a weak will. And to me, it honestly looks like maybe they have cut ties with you in the past and moved away from you. There's a sense that this person feels like they know who you are and what it is that you're about. And maybe this competition that you're feeling, even if this is for a job, this could be somebody that you feel like would be hiring you or something. They feel like whether this is love or business, they feel like they know kind of what it is and what it is that you're about. And I'm hearing that quote from A Knight's Tale: you have been weighed, you have been measured, and you have been found wanting. So I don't know if there is like, if there's something here where you need to let your energy speak for you. Let your track record speak for you. Let your actions speak for you in regards to this job or regards to this person. That's really what I'm getting. If it is a person, I'll say this. This is a very intuitive person, if not outright psychic. I think they read people very well. And they would, if they don't feel like whatever it is that you're up to now, I feel like if you're in front of this person, they could very easily pick up on your energy, especially you guys, pile number 3, because you have a strong energy. Like, I don't know, it's like turning a big ship or something. So it's like when you turn in a direction, it's like felt, it sends out ripples, that kind of thing, energetically speaking. You have the energy of like a bull, in a good way, in a very good way, honestly. So it's just a matter of like making that, I don't know. I feel like you could possibly get whatever this is, but it would be, there's not like a quick fix, you know what I'm saying? And that, okay, so another thing, some of you guys like in the comments call me Auntie Jess, and I like super love that. I've even thought about like maybe changing my channel name to Auntie Jess Tarot, but tell me what you think about that in the comments. Anyways, if you'll allow me to Auntie Jess you here for a second. For some of you, like these energies may be flipped. And maybe this is a person who you go to some kind of reunion or something and they are all about you and they're very determined to get you. And I do just want to say that this is a competitive person. And that is like a part of their nature and it's a part of their character. I feel like this person can be very charming and they can be very competitive and they can get themselves into third-party situations. And it makes me think of like Esther Perel when she says, you know, the verb she would attach to somebody who's like married or in a long-term relationship is to have, right? To have and to hold, to have. The verb that she would attach to desire is to want, to crave, right? And this person wants you. They are craving you. You are a challenge and they are competitive and they like the challenge. But what happens when they get you? That's what I would be thinking about. And maybe for some of you, if you're having a come into Jesus moment, as we like to say in the Midwest, if you're not a Christian, that just means like you're getting real with yourself. You're getting honest. You're getting right with God, you know? If you're having one of those moments and you're like, yeah, you know, I can be very competitive in love. I do attract third-party situations. I can be very charming. I can be very convincing. And whenever I get what I want, I'm out of there. I think this person maybe, if they moved away from me in the past, they maybe could sense that. I'm seeing that scene from Hitch where he puts that guy on the table where he's like, you know, get in, get off, get out. That situation. So I don't know. There is that energy here that I just want you to be aware of. I don't think it's as much of a problem with jobs because I feel like, yeah, it's like this is causing you to stretch your legs, to strive for something that you want. You know, maybe it is just a stepping stone, a milestone job or something. And then it gets you the experience you need to move on to the next thing. But I don't know, with people, that gets a little dicey. But yeah, I feel like you are going to get whatever piece of information that you want in order to help things make sense of it. I will say if this is a person, man, they look so protected and guarded. Oh. I think, okay, so there's some kind of like change in their worldview perhaps, or maybe they heard something about you and they felt like things couldn't go on the way that they had. There was some kind of realization or a change of their opinion or a change in their worldview. Something here like that. Okay, they might think that you're very status oriented, money driven, but that's what Spirit is saying. If you want this person, you have to show that you have this other side, because it's not even lying. Like you have it. This person might be like, yeah, this person won't blow their nose unless you give them a quarter, like, you know, but I don't know. I don't think maybe if some of you, again, you're having that come into Jesus moment and you're like, yeah, I guess I did kind of turn into that. It's Spirit is saying, yay, turn back. We miss you. We love you. Turn back. You know, guess who's starting a health fair at the local elementary school? That's you, man. Like that's the energy that Spirit is having. Like, yes, reconnect with purpose, passion, drive, being of service, being helpful, making a difference. Because yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've talked for a long time. So let's just get some... Oh, look, we've got networker on the bottom of the pile. There's a strong social vibe here. Strong, like... Okay, so what energy should pile number 3 move towards to help them here navigate the situation in the future? Oh boy. Okay, so we have this scribe energy. I'm not going to take it, but this is preserving knowledge and information. I feel like that's going to help you get the facts straight on whatever it is that you're trying to find out here about and make more sense of it. What energy should they move towards? Spirits. Oh my gosh, I love that. Child divine, innocence, purity, redemption suggests a special connection with the divine. You can be a very strategic person, but Spirit is just saying, like, be yourself. Just be yourself and connect with traits that are like already here within you, you know, and bring that to the fore. Maybe don't even, you know, find out what it is you need to know, allow that to shape you and give you some direction and like let go of it, you know? Because I do want to say, I was getting ready to tell you about manifesting this human being. Like if this is a person, this person's an Aries energy. And up here, the suggestion for you is Virgo energy. Those are connected on the light grid. So you have access to the same energetic vibration that this person is resonating and vibrating at, right? So they have a strong will and they want to move away from you. But if you become a vibrational match to this person, then I think what Spirit is saying is there is a possibility that you could be brought together with this person in the future. And when you do, you're going to be a vibrational match to them. And this is a person, if this is a person here, who reads energy. Again, regardless of if this is a business connection that you want to make, or if this is like a romantic interest, regardless of whatever it is, like your energy is going to be a vibrational match to them. So what should you move away from? Martyr, addiction to self-pity. Yeah. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Move away from. Rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. Huh. Aw. Move towards, sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. Okay. I want some, that wasn't very, oh look, gossip. Oh my gosh, the chit chat energy in this pile is like off the chain. We had networker, we have gossip. So one thing, because peer pressure or fashion, and then all this like connectedness, energy, maybe what you're hearing from these people makes you want to rebel, but Spirit's saying like keep on the path, you know, if you want this job opportunity or something. I don't know. Okay, well, what should overall, what message do you have for pile number 3 that can help like kind of tie all of this together? Yo, vampire, makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Maybe that's what this reconnecting with a sense of purpose and passion and service is. Maybe something here, it's like it is draining you. I always think of this one friend that I have. Anytime that he would start to feel bad, he would literally, like in the middle of a meal, he could be like shoveling food into his face and he would be like, I feel bad. I'm just going to go do something for someone. And he would just, the smallest thing, he would just go hold the door for somebody. He would just go buy somebody a croissant at the cafe. Like he would just do anything he could just for somebody else to make their day a little easier, a little better. And he said that always, nothing else works to get him out of a bad mood, a bad space, except for just to make himself of service to other people. And maybe some of you guys, like, I don't know, that could be something here that Spirit is really hoping is going to happen. Yeah, enlightened, benevolent leadership befitting those in your charge. I think a lot of you are leaders, but like I get this energy often on my channel that Spirit is uplifting Aquarian leaders. These are not autocrats. These are not people who are Mr. and Mrs. Jones. These are just everyday folk, you know? So I just feel like some of you guys are being encouraged in some way, whether it's folding in a new skill set so that you, because you're so Aquarian, you do have Aquarian values here. Some of you guys could have had money struggles though recently. I can't really tell the way that's going, but take whatever resonates, I guess. But yeah, like Spirit wants to get you in a position to be an Aquarian type leader. Yeah. Okay, having something to do with language. Why do I feel like there's something missing? Maybe this is your energy here as well, because it's like all this data finding. So where can oh man. Where can pile number 3 look? Where's the pin? Where's the key? Where can they look to integrate this, to bring this together so that they're less confused? So that we're all less confused at this point, Spirit. Networker, so maybe I think there's something about your emotional truth. So isn't that funny? These are the two places where I was saying at the beginning where you're pulling things in. So your own emotional truth, definitely through some kind of network. And then I'm looking here, it says denial of your emotional truth. So I feel like not denying your own emotional truth somehow will help to bring things into focus. Oh my gosh, gossip again. Wow. I just want to say, like, because I remember I said this person, if this is a person that could have had a change of heart, this little gossip engine might, that might be a double-edged sword. Companion. Don Juan. Huh. So maybe you know someone who is like, I don't know, sleeping with someone. Sorry. Anyways, that's what I have for you guys. Pile number 3. That might have been confusing because, again, I feel like it could be any number of things. I think for most of you, it's some sort of opportunity that you really want. It's from your past. It's coming back around. You're hearing whispers about it. You're trying to sniff around to find out exactly what is going on with this and to see if it's a viable situation here for you, because you know that whatever it is, it's unique, it's valuable, and it could be competitive, and you want to be competitive in this sphere, in this space. Spirit is saying, like, to go ahead and connect with this maybe younger part of you that is hopeful and excited and wants to make progress and push things forward and believes that anything is possible. And I feel like part of this is reconnecting with a sense of service and humanitarianism and a sense of inspiration and maybe even generosity and sharing some of your gifts. Another thing that's coming through really quick is, like, if this is a job and maybe you're like, maybe this is saying maybe they haven't hired you and they're not hiring for it just yet, but they always do this annual benefit and they always look for volunteers. You know, maybe this is like at a pet shelter or something. And so you can go volunteer to help take care of the pets for that day and to walk them around or whatever. And by you being in that service volunteer energy, you're meeting all the right people. They're getting to know you and your work ethic and your skills. Maybe that's where you get more information and that's how you become well connected here within this. I feel like there's something here about just being giving and connecting with service. There's something about letting your energy speak for you. So everybody can put that they're service oriented and adaptable, on their resume. But if you show up and you are of service, and you're just in that energetic vibration, I think you're going to be a resonant match with whatever this is that you are wanting to pursue. You're so cloaked, though. Look at your energy. Anyways, I hope that made sense. Pile number 3. If it resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye, guys.